President Donald J. Trump signed an executive order protecting women and girls from the lunacy of being forced to compete against men in sports, a common-sense position supported by almost 80% of Americans. The effects were immediate. The NCAA issued a statement pledging to take necessary steps to align NCAA policy with President Trump's order, while athletes, commentators, activists, and others across the country praised President Trump's commitment to restoring fairness in competition. Here's what they're saying. Former ESPN host Sage Steele, thank you, at POTUS for helping #Save Women's Sports. Former college swimmer Riley Gaines, we finally have a true champion for women in the White House. University of Nevada, Reno, volleyball captain Sia Liilii, thank you, President Trump, for sending a powerful message to female athletes through this executive order that we are not alone in standing up for fairness and safety in sports. When my women's volleyball team chose to forfeit our match against an opposing women's team that rostered a male athlete, we were gaslit by university officials who tried to intimidate us into silence and told us we weren't educated enough on the subject. Today, we are reminded that our voices matter in this fight. Pro golfer Lauren Miller, women are standing up. Trump is standing with us. Former college swimmer Paula Scanlan, as someone who was directly impacted by a male athlete on my college women's swim team, I know how important it is to preserve female-only sport and space. Thankfully, the current administration is following through on promises to stop the insanity. Former volleyball player Peyton McNabb, still overwhelmed with emotions after such a monumental day yesterday. After years of sharing my story, the battle for women's sports has finally been won. Promises were made and kept, and I'm beyond grateful and honored to have been part of it. Thank you, at POTUS, for standing with women. Former college track and field athlete Linnea Saltz, I am proud to stand behind President Trump's executive order to protect female athletes. This is a long overdue victory for women, ensuring they receive the respect and opportunities they deserve. I cannot wait to see this protection become a reality. Former NFL star Shaun Alexander, I think it's a good thing. My daughters train so hard. For them to train so hard to get to where they are and then to see people who have genetics, they have younger brothers who can compete with them already and they're 14, so if you're the same age competing with a boy, that's just hard, just body structure alone is just hard. So I'm really happy for all the girls. Independent Women's Forum, the war on women's sports is over. Thank you, at POTUS. Alliance Defending Freedom CEO Kristen Wagoner, the executive order keeping men out of women's sports is important legally but also vital for the long-overdue message it sends to women and girls. Your rights matter. Parents Defending Education founder Nikki Neely, today's executive order by President Trump banning biological boys and men from girls and women's sports on National Girls and Women in Sports Day is welcome news for female athletes and parents of girls in competitive sports. CNN's Andrew Kaczynski, CNN's at Forecaster-Renton found that 79% of Americans oppose transgender athletes in female sports yesterday, including 67% of Democrats. Journalist Selena Zito, all across Pennsylvania and Great Lakes Midwest parents who spend a lot of their time on the sidelines of soccer fields and track and swim meets were looking for someone to champion their daughter's safety. Sports associations and school boards repeatedly let them down. Trump delivered. Commentator Megyn Kelly, it is a thing of beauty, and it will literally save lives. Columnist Carrie Sheffield, this was the restoration of women's rights. Commentator Kimberly Strassel, I think it's the most amazing image of this presidency so far. Moms for Liberty co-founder Tina Descovich, thank you at POTUS for this shout-out yesterday at the executive order signing. Being in the White House to witness this day will not be forgotten. Building at Moms for Liberty is an honor of a lifetime. Moms for Liberty co-founder Tiffany Justice, what an incredible day for women and girls in America. It was wonderful to be in the White House with so many members of Moms for Liberty and their kids. God bless President Real Donald Trump. America First Policy Institute Chair Erica Donalds, the leader we need. U.S. Department of Education Deputy General Counsel Candace Jackson, President Trump demanded an end to the insanity of men in women's sports. The president affirmed that this administration will protect female athletes from the danger of competing against and the indignity of sharing private spaces with someone of the opposite sex. This executive order is both a demonstration of common sense and a restoration of our country's promise to give women equal opportunities. Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican, Louisiana, men have no place in women's sports. President Trump's executive order puts an end to the unfair and dangerous practice of allowing biological men to compete against women. Common sense is back in the White House. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Republican, Arkansas, girls deserve to feel safe in locker rooms and on the court. Thank you, President @Real Donald Trump, for bringing common sense back to the White House and protecting women across the country. Iowa Attorney General Brenna Bird, we are ready for President Trump to make girls' sports great again. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill, I'd like to thank President Donald Trump for signing an executive order protecting women's sports. As the president stated, the war on women's sports is finally over.